Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the life and times of Dekaron and me and how I fit into it all, and I'm going to put some rumours to rest because apparently I'm a massive source of interest for each and every one of you in the Dekaron community, even though I don't actually do anything. So let's get into it. Dekaron started in 2007. It's owned by Acclaim. The Acclaim GMs are Indian. They used to sell, and when I say Indian, they lived in Mumbai. They were employed from India. They used to sell things on the side to players like 10% crit gems, +9 items, anything you wanted, you could get it from them. I never personally bought anything from them. However, I was rescued from prison one time by GM Dark Knight, which was Kamrasaka, if you ever remember him. I was rescued from prison by him one day, by him giving me deal from his GM. But, you know, it was a 1 million deal. It's not going to kill the entire server, unlike the 10% crit gems he had in his weapon. While he got very drunk and showed me once, and it had, it was a 2-hand axe, and it had 10% crit gems in it. So, yeah. Stuff like that was floating around, and it still is. When Acclaim was folding and we knew that Game High was going to take over, those Indian GMs, some of them had already left, but the ones that were left took vast parts of the database and sold them off. And that is how, if you ever got hacked at the very end of the Acclaim reign, that's how. It was in fact the GM team's fault. Game High was pretty uneventful. I mean, they were the owner of the game. They were fine. I don't know anything that happened during that time that was too sus or anything like that. However, when Nexon took over, I think it was Nexon EU. Was it Nexon EU? I don't know. Anyway, we had massive dupe issues, which was people getting stuck on purpose. The server would sort of crash, but not 100%. And if anything you did between, like, I think about 2 minutes and getting stuck as you were trying to change channel, was not remembered. It wasn't logged, and they had to roll back the character 2 minutes or so to get it unstuck. So, for instance, you could do a trade of your entire set and then get purposely stuck by trying to change channel, and ta-da, when you're unstuck you have a copy of your set and your original. So that's how the original massive dupe issue came about. We also had the beginning of GMs doing whatever the heck they wanted. They didn't do events, they didn't do any customer relations that I can remember, but what do I know. I wasn't terribly involved at the time. I wasn't playing that much. I was living at my parents' place, and I only had mobile internet, and it could not run the game. So I think I took about 3 years off at that stage. So most of Nexon, I wasn't there. Shush. Then Papaya, I think, took over. I want to say 5 years ago. Did we just have the 5-year anniversary? I want to say 5 years ago. Anyway, then initially Waldo was in charge. He set up the launch, he set up everything perfectly, and then he let it go to the team that was now all fired. We had Leventi, Gizmo, Elenin, although Elenin wasn't fired, she just quit, and Veronica, who just stopped coming to work one day. Obviously we know what happened with Levente. He picked up where the Indian GMs left off and started selling everything that wasn't nailed down. And Veronica was also allegedly selling, but I don't know anything about that. I know obviously that she was power leveling her friends and playing favourites with an awful lot of players, which was cool. There's reports of like people randomly being banned for forever for insulting her or that kind of thing. When I came back to the game, I made a new Alican. I had an old one as well, but I made a new Alican because the game had changed so much in action, up to I think it was action 16, action 17, I don't know, whenever Illipur was around, that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I made a new Seg and a new Alican, and we spent fortunes making Illipur sets for them. And then when Helion came out, I spent hours farming Faith stuff in that dungeon, and I made a nice set, and I made 20% boots, which Ice Wave was like, oh my god, you hacker, because they were literally the first part of armor I made, and it was a 20% boost, and I was like, woohoo. Then we had that stupid PvP tournament, remember that? Oh my god, what a shit show. I got some graces from that, and I tried to plus my stuff. Fail. Then they finally actually put some graces in the game, and I spent, I want to say, almost 3,000 USD on trying to plus my items, because A, they'd only put graces in a random box, and they hadn't put any glories, it was just, anyone at that time that was trying to make items, it was just so frustrating. There was no gold R-gates, for Christ's sake. It was so hard. Anyway, I spent thousands on it, and I really got the shits with trying to make my items. And one of my friends, who will remain nameless, but you'll probably guess who it is, said, why don't you just buy a set, like everyone else was doing in the game. At that time there was hardly anyone playing. It was worse than it is now. And I'd already spent $3,000. I was already $3,000 deep. I actually wanted, you know, something to come out of it at that stage, so I was like, screw it, you know what, fine. Cost me $1,000. Cost me a third of what I'd already spent failing. But it wasn't actually duped items, it was my own items, and I guess he used 100% graces and glories to plus it, I don't know. Anyway, I was just a player, I didn't care. I just cared that it cost me way less than the rest of the crap. I didn't care that I was breaking the rules. It's just a game, you know? A game that I've just spent ridiculous money on. But anyway. And one of my friends in guild, who's a massive flake, it turns out, said he wanted to buy a set for his summy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll put you in touch with Simon Casby. Everyone who's dealt with him knows his name. I don't care that I'm telling you his name. His name's Simon Casby. And I told Simon that it was my husband that wanted it, because I just bought from him. I was hoping to get like a discount or something for my friend, who didn't end up buying the set anyway. So nothing came of it. Like we didn't buy it. We didn't. It wasn't for Skeep. It wasn't for anyone that is in any way related to me. I just said it was to try and get a discount, because why not? Because there's so much shite going on in this. That was in January 2018. So, you know, that was 2.5 years ago. People still bring that up now. Anyway, in March 2018, still almost 2.5 years ago, I was going to quit. There was nobody playing. It was boring. There was nothing to do. There's no, like, everyone I knew was either banned or had quit at that stage, apart from a few select people in my guild. And so I was like, well, screw it. You know what? I'm going to add my items to G2G, because if I'm leaving, it doesn't even matter that I'm breaking the rules. I don't give a shit. But somebody in guild, probably Mule, spoke to me, talked me into staying. So I ended up taking all my items off and selling them in game for graces, and just moving over to my Seg, because I was bored of Alican anyway. Part of why I was going to leave. The rumour that I put my account on there is utter nonsense. I will cop to putting my items on there. I will never cop to putting my account on there, because I never have tried to sell an account, because they're mine. They've got my name. They've got my work in them. They've got things that they're not worth money. They're sentimental crap, you know? They're mine, and they're not anyone else's. I wouldn't bother selling them. To me, they're not worth anything, and I'd feel like a bit of a dick to sell something that I don't feel is worth very much to someone else for X amount of dollars. And they've got my names that I chose. I mean, they might be stupid names. I don't care. But they're mine. So, like, you can say that I wanted to sell my Alican, but I didn't. Sorry, the phone was ringing. And you could say that I wanted to sell my items. Yeah, I did want to sell my items, but I ended up not selling my items. Sold them in game. So I ended up not breaking that rule. Sorry to disappoint you all, but I can even name some of the people I sold my items to in-game for Graces. I sold my boots to Death Queen Tommy. I sold my gloves, I think, to Morgan Le Fay. I sold my spear to some baggy who sold it to, I don't know who the baggy was, it was an old somebody who obviously didn't want me to know their name, for 50 graces and a Seg MC with 20k HP on, which is something I wanted because I was making my Seg. And I immediately plussed up the helm with three graces, and it was immediately worth twice than what I'd got for the spear. So, you know, I came out on top of that deal, and that's pretty much the last time I've ever dealt with anything in game. Since then, I've made my own items because you guys are twats, basically. So after all of that, all of the trying to sort of distance myself from the game a little bit, we picked up Eden, GM Eden, and PM Muziq who started the Discord and started to change the game for the better, in my opinion. They made it so that the players could give way more feedback, that we had a actual contact, because I don't know if you remember, but before that we had tickets that got ignored and that was it. That was kind of fun. And then sort of a month after that got started, I mean, they wanted players to be, what was it, community support officers or some shit, I don't know, which I had no interest in being. But Shiro, who I spoke to idly a few times a week in Maze, not, you know, we weren't friends, we never have been friends. We messed around a little bit a few times a week in Maze, had a chat. We were both English, so, you know. Anyway, he approached me and said, did I want to be part of the bug team? Because I seem to know a little bit about the game. I've only been playing it, you know, a decade. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And we start giving bug reports to Eden. Things like, I don't know, the list was 49 bugs long at this time. But yeah, we were in a bug group. There was me, Shiro, and Tattoo, I think, in this group. And also the community managers, that French guy, and somebody called Mick, I don't know who the hell that was, anyway. And Muziq were all in this group together. We'd exchange bugs and ideas and blah, blah, blah. And then one day Eden came to speak to us to actually finalise the actual team properly, and he wanted some really odd hierarchy where we would report to one of the community managers, and I was like, okay, whatever. Well, I was quietly sitting back for a minute, thinking about how I was going to word the fact that it sounded completely redundant to me. Like, why can't I just give you a bug report? I don't understand why I can't just send you a bug report once a week, whatever. But I was just trying to figure out how I would say that in a polite way when Shiro had some sort of complete meltdown. Like, I'm not joking, I was confused Gandalf, like, what the fuck is going on? I just sat back and was like, whoa, what is happening? He had a complete meltdown about not wanting to report to this guy. I can't even remember what his name was. The French guy, I don't know, it was a hunter. Didn't want to report to him, doesn't like him, hates his guts, blah blah blah. To the point where Eden flipped out as well, and they were just having this knockdown drag out argument, and I'm just like, what is happening? Eventually Eden kicked him out of the Discord, couldn't have it anymore. And I'm sitting like, what has just happened? I don't know. I just did not know what just happened. And then I spoke to Eden like, well, I didn't want to do that because it just seems redundant to me. I already have a connection with you. I don't know why I have to go through a, you know, you're just adding work, busy work for people. And he understood that, and then he had a good chat to me, and he was like, actually, I think you'd make a better community manager. Like, you'd probably make a better community manager for the Discord, if anything. And I'm like, well, okay, if you think so. Probably because I'd communicated in an adult manner instead of having a complete paddy like a 3-year-old. But what do I know? Anyway, then that's when I was community manager with Lorraine, who, I don't know, Lorraine was like, you know, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they describe Earth as mostly harmless? That's Lorraine. Lorraine's mostly harmless, you know? Funny ideas, he wanted to make it kind of like friggin' United Nations of Dekaron or whatever, with a delegate from each guild being... Is my vacuum emptying itself? Yeah, he wanted to sort of every month have a meeting between all the high-end guild leaders, and I'm like, you can't get these people to talk to each other normally in a game, let alone in a structured surrounding. Let alone get them all to turn up at the same place at the same time. But, you know, whatever. That was his thing. Anyway, he got fired because he got everyone's gems deleted, basically. He was underperforming. I don't know what the official rule was, but it was his first job. Like, he was 21. Eden was 21, guys. And then we got replaced with Mule, who knew even less than Eden, frankly. He was a nice boy, but again, he was young and he didn't really know very much. And then, oh my god, where are we now? February 19. So, pretty, like, almost a year of actually being... No, 6 months. I'd had 6 months of being involved with the inner workings of Dekaron, which is essentially being frustrated at all times. The only person that was of any use to me was Muziq, which is, I call him Andrew, Fijian his name is. Fijian knows friggin' everything, but again, he was in charge of multiple games, including Uncharted Waters, which ironically makes more than Dekaron does. Anyway, he moved to Warrock and I had to resign because you people are insufferable a lot of the time on Discord. I have absolutely no idea what your problem is. But it's a lot of the time like fucking kindergarten. And I was sick of being a teacher, let's put it that way. Anyway, I resigned, but still had private privileges, such as I was part of the chat, I was whitelisted to test stuff during maintenance, that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing that they needed from players, and we just had Waldo take over. Nobody had met him yet, and we had loads of issues whilst he was taking over and nobody had spoken to him yet, so Muziq facilitated him, you know, taking over everything. And then we had the next big update, which Mule did a lot of, and then Mule just stopped coming to work one day as well. And that was when we had that constant crashing of the server all the time. One shard would just crash for no reason and everyone would be stuck. And it turned out that after, I want to say 4 days, yeah, it was Sunday by the time we figured out what the fuck was going on. Somebody DM'd me on Discord and said, every time my seg dies, the server crashes. So we got that person onto a locked server and tested it, and yeah, every time they died, the server crashed. This one seg, just every time they died, the server crashed, gone, done. And it turned out that they had a quest from, I want to say, Action 7, maybe Action 6, open in their quest journal, and the server did not like it. So every time they died, this quest made the server freak out and crash, so he got rid of it. But that took us 4 days, and Waldo never went home. For those 4 days, Waldo was just there in the office trying to fix this. So already I knew that he was more responsible than the people that we dealt with before. But because he was project manager and he was already in charge of 2 other games, he employed somebody to replace Mule. And that was Redhawk. And whilst he was sorting out Redhawk with stuff, he was still talking to me. And he'd already asked, like, he wanted a couple of people to be GMs. So I was like, yeah, okay, well, I can do that. He already knew all of my history, everything. Every time a new person comes along, I make a point of writing out everything that has happened, everything that I've done that's bad, blah, blah, blah. There are no skeletons from these people. So when you go up and say, oh, Faith has bought a set from G to G, or whatever the fuck it is that you're going to say, it's not going to faze them because I've already told them. It's, you know, it's something that is appreciated when you're up front with people. You know, I can say, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have bought it, but it's done now. Do you know what I mean? I can't go back and change it, but I'm going to tell you I did it so that you know. And then you've got all the information, you can make an informed decision. Done. And they also know that pretty much 95% of the entire game has done what I did. 3 weeks, I want to say 3 weeks or 4 weeks after he got Redhawk and we started helping Redhawk out with training him. Incidentally, when a new GM takes over, there are no notes for them. There are no instructions. There is no history of Dekaron for them to read. There are no dev commands for them to use. There are no, this is how this works. There's no instruction manual. So when us players are helping them, it's not because we're trying to be indispensable. It's because we want them to actually be able to run the game. Like, we've been long-time players of the game. We want it to keep going. It's not because we want to gain anything from it other than being able to play the game and enjoy it still. I say we, with one glaring exception, which we'll get to in a little while. So I want to say in May, which is probably only about 5 weeks after he employed Redhawk, Waldo went to Korea on a relationship building exercise. And while he was there, he interviewed me via Skype and we had a good chat, and he employed me basically. As of June 1, I had GM Hera, and I wasn't told what I wasn't supposed to do. So anytime you saw us doing an event, we weren't supposed to be doing events. Even though I had personally, I think I've still got it somewhere, I'd given Waldo a timetable of the things that I was gonna do. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. And made it very clear that this is what we wanted to be doing every single week. Timetable of Doom. This is what I gave to him before he gave me my GM, and this is what I said I would do, and it's what I did do. Every Monday I was in game, or every week I was in game at some stage to answer questions and do stuff like that. Told him I would be doing 2 mob spawn events a week, and I said that there should be XP or a drop event on the weekends. And I also did my scavenger hunt, which some of you took part in, and I never did a kill the GM event, but others did because I don't really want to do a kill the GM event anyway. That's that. So I told him I was doing that, but anyway, we weren't supposed to be doing that, and I didn't know also that he was going to employ a second GM at the same time, which was GM Fenrir. But you know, whatever. Anyway, whilst all this was going on in the quiet background, starting in June, no, I think it was earlier than that, starting in May, so pretty much 4 weeks after he started the game, Redhawk started selling items to people. None of this was known to us at the time, so we'll get back to that in a minute. But then in August, or like the very end of July, I did something stupid. Everyone's seen the screenshot of me in SC with loads of crap on the floor, blah, 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 that's been leaked. It's an edited screenshot. The unedited version is that GM Fenrir took the screenshot of me, and he did not ask me at the time what I was doing or why I was doing it. But when I found out that he was following me, which at one stage Skeep, my husband, turned to me because we were doing, I'll tell you what I was doing in a second. He said, wouldn't somebody think that we were power leveling ourselves if they were watching us right now? And it occurred to me that somebody could be watching me. So I thought, oh, I'll just see where GM Fenrir is, and yeah, he was watching me. So I explained him what I was doing on Skype. Obviously he was like, oh, well, it's down to Waldo to sort out, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever. So then I explained it to Waldo. Now, everyone who's seen or had seen Hera knew that she had nothing. She had +6 friggin' helpy set, a +6 weapon. She had nothing. She had a couple of GM rings that didn't make her hit harder. She had the Kim stinging to stop her from dying. That was it. That was all I needed, really. But every time I stood next to GM Fenrir, who had a modded set, or still probably does have a modded set, I don't actually know, I felt like a trash bag. And God, I was jealous. Like, it's the only time I've ever been jealous of anything, and it was because my GM was crapper than his GM. Like, I'm not jealous about stuff from my own personal characters. I'm jealous of the fact that he's standing there, he's all shiny, he's got the perfect wings, and he's got all this stuff, and I'm like, fine. I'll just see if I can get a little bit more damage by getting some wing gems. Now, I could have asked for the wing gems from Waldo, but I was like, no, it's alright. I'll go and just kill Benel fairies on my own and get some wing gems, right? She couldn't fucking kill him. My GM character could not kill Benel fairy on her own. We would have been standing there for roughly 900 years waiting for my GM to kill them. So, do you know what? I got my seg and my husband was there and he's like, okay, I'll just come. And we were killing the mobs on my personal character, but Hera was picking all the items up. I picked nothing up on my characters. He picked nothing up on his characters. It was fucking dumb, okay? It was dumb, it was stupid, I'm an idiot. But that story was corroborated by Waldo. He said, yes, everything was going into your GM's inventory, but at the end of the day, it's how it looks. And because somebody else had taken the fucking screenshot, he said, you know, I'm going to have to take your GM away for some time. Fine. I was fine with that. And it was nobody else's business. I continued to help them with whatever they needed help with. I was still employed. I just didn't have a GM. And then the picture got leaked. Isn't that mysterious? Not long after the picture got leaked, which by the way is a gross convention of the NDA that GM Fenrir signed. But again, I didn't say anything about the picture because it's not anybody else's business. It was private company business, actually, and I was legally bound not to say anything about it, I think. But you know what? I don't give a shit anymore, right? I'm sick of being the villain in all of your stories. So yeah, I did something dumb. I wasn't hacking. I wasn't trying to get anything from my own characters. I wasn't power leveling myself, because if I was power leveling myself, why would I use a 170 mob that takes twice as long to kill? I was literally doing something really dumb, okay? Anyway, it looked bad. It was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just asked Waldo for the stupid gems. End of story. He kept me in the team as a consultant. He always asked my opinions. I was always logged in for maintenance time. We bug tested together. I trusted Redhawk. I still sent stuff to Redhawk and still let him know that X was hacking or so-and-so's told me this or whatever, because players still trusted me with their information. They still came to me and they said, Faith, so-and-so's hacking on, I don't know, that channel right now. Okay, we'll get someone to look at it, whatever. So strike one for Fenrir. At this time, I didn't know who he was. He knew who I was because I'd been honest and told him who I was the moment I met him. I was like, oh yeah, I'm Faith, you know, whatever. Because I have nothing to hide. He didn't tell me who he was, and that's probably because he does have things to hide. Not long before he was employed, he threatened me on Discord. I spoke to Valar on Discord, not whilst Mule was there. I don't know what we were talking about, but we got onto the subject of Shiro, and I said, yeah, Shiro's probably in the crosshairs because of, you know, the things he's done in the past, and you know, his stuff's being looked into. It always is, because he's hacked in the past. His segs leveled up really fast, and it wasn't because I was flexing. It was because he was being watched and he was being looked into, because he was leveling really fast, and it was weird. It wasn't because it was out, anyone was out for him. Like, other people were doing weird stuff. They were also being watched as well. But, yeah, he wasn't being watched by me. I was just saying that he was on the watch list. There was a bunch of people on the watch list. We were keeping an eye out for him. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, he got in touch with me and freaked the fuck out. Started calling me a little girl. And I was an idiot and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that conversation got immediately deleted as soon as he got his GM. I went back to find it once I found out who he was, to show Waldo that this is the caliber of person that he's employed. And it was gone. And I'm sitting there thinking, have I been gaslit? Did it really happen? I don't know anymore. But obviously it did, because I spoke to Valar after and was like, thanks for opening your big giant mouth. Why have you got to say things? Because Valar apparently has got to tell everybody every account. Muziq AK at the time. I don't know why he thought that would be okay, but he did it, which is why there was a couple of videos floating around with him never dying. I honestly don't know why he thought that would be okay, but there we go, that's what he did. They had good fine old time making both their dev character or GM character and to a certain extent playing characters. I have no idea what Shiro has. I've never seen his items, but there was lots of rumours floating around about Shiro's Seg and Zui having, you know, ridiculously statted items. And I've seen a few items that don't go over the limit but are touching the limit ridiculously close to the limit of the stats that we can get on items. Still in circulation now. They're items that you'd go to. But, you know, Redhawk's stupid AK, he renamed it because obviously we wouldn't notice that some AK has popped out of nowhere that doesn't die. Because the game is so packed with people that we wouldn't notice. He renamed it Gonzo, I think it was, and he had ridiculous items on the damn thing, and he kept showing them to people. And I'm like, why would you put those on your personal account? And then they'd go into DK Square together and they'd kill other players with Fenrir on his GM account and Red on his souped up AK, and then they'd say they were testing DK Square by killing people. It doesn't even make any sense. I'll put a little screenshot of them partying together with the dev character up here somewhere, which is a fun little screenshot. And then in December, right, so it was just a massive shit show. And by the way, when I called them out publicly on Discord for doing that and why they thought that was okay, my account mysteriously got investigated. because somebody in my guild had complained that I had too many Zuto bracelets, which by the way I bought from the NPC with Zuto coins that I bought from other players. The one and only time since purchasing my other item, my Seg gear, or making my Seg gear, that I've ever dealt with green chat was buying Zuto coins so that I could get the belt and bracelet when they added them. And I think I bought as many as I could, so maybe 20, something like that. It was a shitload of graces that I had left over from making the Seg stuff because I was quite lucky. And someone in my guild got upset because I had these and reported me for having them. And Redhawk, mysteriously, after I'd called them out on Discord for killing players in DK Square and generally being dickheads, he mysteriously came to me and asked me why I had so many Zuto plus 10s, and I'm like, I only have one Zuto plus 10. The rest of them came from the NPC, which you can clearly see from my logs, and he was like, oh yeah. So the one thing they thought that they could pin on me was easily disproven completely, because I bought the items from the NPC and I bought the Zuto coins in game. Anyway, so that was a lovely slide into chaos that led us into December, when I'll show you some screens of, let me have a look, see if I can find them now. A tip that came into me, it was 9th of December. I don't know where I've put the screenshots now, let me just find them. So I'll put the screenshot here over my face, because I know how much you all love looking at my face, so much that you'll love to look at this. Anyway, somebody came and asked me if I knew Redhawk's real name. And I said, well, I know him as Sam Kim, because that's what his name was to me. They said, have I ever heard the name Sang-Yoon Kim before? And I said, well, no, I haven't. Apart from maybe when I was answering tickets, I might have seen it in the Papaya list, because there's like a list of different staff members. I was like, why anyway? With the information that a staff member for Papaya was selling items, unbanning people and or banning people for USD, or for Canadian dollars, as it were. And they had PayPal logs, they had in-game conversations, they had Skype conversations, they had the whole 9 yards. So I'm like, well, I've never heard of anyone called Sang-Yoon Kim anyway, but let me ask Waldo. So I went and asked Waldo, and contrary to Waldo's normal activities, he actually got back to me within 2 seconds. Obviously his radar was like up. I said, ever heard of anyone called Sang-Yoon Kim? Does the name ring a bell? And he's like, well, maybe. Why? And I explained what was going on, and I said, I'd get the goods off of the person that was messaging me. I think we got PayPal receipts of somebody purchasing a juice marble egg, and a conversation about crests and buying crests from them for €250, by the way. €250 for a set of crests. But this, like, the receipts and stuff, it started happening in May, like whilst Waldo was in Korea. And he looked into it almost immediately, and he came back to me and he said, there's this 6 usernames with stars on. He'd put the first letters, and he said, these are the usernames, are these any of those? And I said, yes, 1 or 2 of them are. And they had purchased the person that had come to me, their friend had purchased for their friend via PayPal, because their friend or whatever, they didn't want a paper trail. The originating buyer, I'm going to name him because I don't give a shit, was Hertzblatt, or Raffo, or whatever his name is. He was buying an item from this Sang-Yoon Kim dude, and he asked the person that took the screenshots and stuff to purchase it for him if he sent him the money. So the person that whistle blew, it was a middleman, and I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because he didn't have a paper trail. I don't understand. I don't care. But this egg ended up on Ruffy, the summoner. Which was sold to Daniel, who renamed it Fushi. So if anyone wonders why Fushi's banned, that's why. There was also talk of the fact that Herzblatt had paid to have Ichigo unbanned, and then he'd sold that to somebody as well, almost immediately. Like, maybe had it for 2 weeks and then sold it. It's all about the money here. So we've got all that happening in the background as well. So Waldo's looking into it. He said, I'll get back to you. I'm going to go and... Like, he disappeared. He went somewhere. He was like a man-shaped hole in a fucking door. And I knew something was going down, but I didn't know what was going down, because he plays his cards quite close to his chest because he has to. Especially where, employees are involved. So I'm talking to my source more about this, and the dates start coming out, and the dates don't make any sense to me, because Redhawk started in April. This guy started buying stuff from Sang-Yoon Kim in May, which is when Waldo was in Korea, incidentally. So he started, as soon as his boss left the office, he started selling stuff. Now, 3 weeks into Dekaron, you would not know what is worth money and what is worth jack shit to sell on the open market. So you just wouldn't. You just wouldn't know. So he also had somebody facilitating, getting to know who to sell to, because you don't just walk up to a dev and go, hey, can I buy an egg? Or, hey, can you unban my friend? I'll pay you $250. So he had somebody facilitating that. And all I can think of, that it wasn't me. It wasn't Ares, because Ares wouldn't even know what items to sell himself, and he's too busy. And it wasn't Apollo, because I would trust Apollo never to do it. Apollo didn't even have items on his own character. Like, he didn't have a GM set because he didn't need one. He just sat there and caught May a lot. The only person that he'd been having fun with and screwing around in game with and basically ruining general players' play styles and enjoyment with was GM Fenrir. So that's where we landed on. And also, let's not forget that Herzblatt is BFFs with Shiro/Fenrir. So that would have facilitated that relationship completely. Did it? I still don't know. We still don't know. The logs don't go far enough back to know, because they only keep logs for 2 months, if you ever were wondering. Basically, that night, I think we're going on to the 10th. No, the 10th of... So that took 48 hours. In 48 hours, from beginning to end, we established what happened, and Redhawk had confessed and was escorted from the building in Canada. So that was nice. And I said to Waldo, what do you want to do now? And he said, I don't know. Have you got any ideas? And I said, let's drink. So we had a drink. And that was about it, really. In the time that I was not a GM, but Redhawk was still talking to me and, getting feedback and this, that, and the other from me, another player had come to me in July, which was after a minor or major update, I don't know. I can't remember. And said, look, there's a dupe hack that has accidentally been re-implemented. You might want to get it fixed. And I said, what do you mean? How do we do it? What do I say? Because I don't know how to dupe. This is I knew the other one because everyone was doing it, from Next On Times. It's kind of obvious. But for this one, I didn't have a clue. I obviously knew that there was a lot of, stuff that shouldn't be around in the game. And obviously there was a dupe method of some sort, but I didn't know what it was. There was a method of logging in both your character 2 times, so that you could just I don't know, the second one didn't save any of your information, so you could just relog over and over again and the item would be back in your inventory. So I finally got it, like I replicated it, videoed it, and gave it to Waldo, and this is my bad. I'm sorry. For being stupid and trusting Redhawk with it. I also gave the video to Redhawk thinking, you know, if Waldo doesn't have time, Redhawk can sort it out. It's a very critical thing. We'll give it to the main head GM, get it sorted quickly, ASAP, done. And later on, it turns out that he obviously showed it to Fenrir because Fenrir was using it on Asia. That's what he was doing. If you were interested, that's the dupe hack method they were using on Asia. So that's my fault, but you know, I didn't tell him to use it. So there we go. That's one of the things we discovered, got fixed for free. You're welcome. There was also the temple hack that we also got fixed, which was you needed one thing. You needed a wall hack, and that was it for what this hack. It was the same as those of you that knew how to do the Python maze dungeon hack at the time, which was you go through a door, come back out over the wall, go through the door again, come back out over the wall, go through the door, and like every time you went through the door the mobs spawned, so you could do it a load of times and you'd have a shitload of mobs. Somebody told me that's what that hack was, and I had I'd heard of the dungeon hack, but I'd never seen it or done it or had any understanding of how to do it because it doesn't bother me. To find out, like I'm not that fussed about hacking or getting anywhere that fast, so yeah, we'll get to that. I was gonna digress there for a second, but I won't digress. So they explained that hack to me, and I'm like, I wonder if you could do that in temple, underground temple in Myteria. And so I got my minion I'm going to call him my minion, GM Apollo, because I didn't have a GM at the time. I was just sitting there like, I wonder if that would work, to go test it. And sure enough, that's how a lot of people were leveling up fast. Hi, Saki. Sorry for getting that taken off the table. You had to resort to nested cherubim after that, didn't you? Damn. So, very much more recently, the finally figured out how the Karen's Firepot hack worked, which was a mass spawn hack on the, the egg hatchling pod things. It turned out when you went near them with hack, they went absolutely apeshit. Like Ored used to do with the baby spawn hatchling things, yeah. So they're just sitting there for an hour and kill those. So I told Waldo about that, and he stopped it from spawning mobs. Done. Simple. And then we had one of my favourite current people, GM Bono, came to work, and like he's a game changer. He's very quick at learning. He picks up real fast on what's going on, and he also gives a shit about the, like, he probably doesn't care about the game very much, because the Korean dev team are dickheads, and they don't really they just seem really obstructive all the time. I don't know whether they're trying to be or whether they just genuinely don't understand what we're saying to them. But he cares about the community, and he's much like me in the way that you annoy the shit out of us, but we're good shepherds and we'll help you, whatever. So, we enjoy each other's company. And anytime he's got something he wants to do, he'll run it by me and say, what do you think of this? And we'll go through it. And, most recently we did the AP quest together. It was an idea we put together from Discord. Somebody asked if there was, if there could be a better way to get AP. And I was like, well, what if we make a better AP quest for Myteria that's very similar to the Deadlands one? And I was the architect. I did the route and how much XP you'd get and how much AP you'd get and all that. And he wrote all of that, all the cool text. He wrote all of that, and he also did all the technical stuff, because I don't know how to do that. Let's get on to Discord lately. I have not been on global Discord on a personal account for going on, I don't know, 4 months, 3 months, something like that. Because every time I talked, somebody would bring up this stupid screenshot that you knew nothing about. So I've just told you about it now. You can put it in your box and you can shut it. I've had enough of it. Okay? You now know why the screenshot is there. You now know who it came from, why it came from them, because they're a big fucking dickhead. Okay? However, I have been, like, before I left the Discord, we had an issue with, I don't know how many of you know British Babe or Kelly. She's nice. She's an English person, and I think I've known of her since forever. I think she was at Abaddon as well. So we've known of each other for a long time. We've always had like a laugh and a joke together. She's sweet. Kelly is sweet. Like, she swears a lot like I do, but she's cute and she's sweet, and like, she would never hurt anyone unless they gave her reason to. And she had a falling out with Saki and his little gang and whatever. I want to say gang. What I mean is little mafia, because he genuinely thinks he's part of some sort of underground mafia. I'll show you a screenshot of that in a while. And they had a falling out, and one of them knew her information. And so instead of just moving on with their lives and getting on with things and playing a game, they logged into her seg, which she's had for 13 years, and stole all her stuff, for one. Kicked everybody out of their guild, 2. And 3, deleted everything that they couldn't steal. So, you know, silly things like pets that she collected and, you know, old stuff that you can't get anymore. They just deleted it all because, I don't know, because fuck you, Kelly. And, you know, we did our best to help her get it all back, and Bono was like, traced it and found it and gave a report to Waldo. I don't know what Waldo did with it after that. I wasn't involved. But I was heartbroken for Kelly. It wasn't even my account, and I was heartbroken for her. Because I know that if somebody did that to one of my old accounts, like my hunter, like if somebody deleted my pink hunter hat, I would be distraught. Like, it's a fucking hat, but it's still mine, you know? And I've had it for 12 years. It's one of my favourite items. Tried to get that sorted out for her. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened in the end. I never actually asked her. But all I know is that the person that, or the people that hacked her, came to the Discord to harass her one day. And something about foot pics and, oh, I can't believe you'd share your account details. Why would you do that? Can I have foot pics? Can I have nudes and stuff like this? And, you know, 3 people harassing one girl on Discord is just, it's beyond. Especially after they'd stolen all of her stuff and caused her no end of issues. So, what with harassment being clear, I think rule 2 of the Discord, I don't have it open, I kicked them all out. I screenshotted it all, I kicked them all out, and I told Bono that I'd kicked them all and why. And he said, okay. So, like, if I kick somebody or delete one of your posts or whatever, it doesn't end with me. I document it and I show it to Waldo or Bono or both, depending on what it is, and tell them why they were kicked and what rule they broke and whatever. And if you notice, I never bothered to kick or ban people that took my picture and made it into a pig, or took my picture and put it next to a whale, or did any of those things, because it never bothered me. I don't give a shit if you laugh at me. I don't give a shit if you think I'm fat. I don't give a shit if you think I'm ugly. Okay? I'm fine with who I am, or I wouldn't be doing this. I certainly wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about all this shit if I gave a shit what you thought. Honestly. Such fine comments as ha 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 ha, or you're so fat and ugly on my last video have warranted that comment. And by the way, I've come a long way, baby. I'll show you my before and after picture just here so that you can take that and make a meme out of it. And if you want, I can come over to your stupid age Discord, which I've been invited to about 12 times by various people who said you should probably come and see these idiots because they're making fun of you. I don't care. I don't care that you're sitting over there making fun of me. I don't give a shit. Do it. I don't care. I'll come over there and I'll give you some high-res shots. I don't care. Okay? You can have the original pictures. I don't give a shit. What was I saying? Yeah, so none of that ever bothered me in Discord. You could take the piss out of me. I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? But don't do it to another player. Don't. Especially don't be harassing them 3-on-1. Don't be, especially after you've just broken every single rule that Papaya has by A, logging in somebody's account without asking to, B, taking everything they own, like literally stealing everything they own. Like, don't do it. Just fuck off. So I think that's probably, oh no, somebody keeps saying I keep deleting stuff that I don't agree with and don't like and whatever. So let me bring up the global Discord here a second and see just when the last time it was that I actually deleted something that you guys posted. Let's have a look. Okay. The last time I banned or deleted anything was the 2nd of the 8th, which is the 2nd of... so a month ago. That was the last time I banned anyone or deleted anything. And do you know what it was? You know what it was that I deleted? It was, we'll wait. Yeah, you know what it was I deleted? A change.org petition that Tukamote, who, by the way, you're an idiot. Can I just say, you're a fucking moron. Made. You spent your actual time and energy to make a change.org petition to get Bono fired. Somebody who's genuinely trying to make a difference in the game and working every day he's at work to make sure the game is running as well as it can be. He's giving feedback every day to players on global Discord. He's not ignoring them like Mule used to. He's not ignoring them like Waldo still does. He's genuinely giving feedback all the time and giving support. That's the person that you made a change.org fucking petition to get fired. Really? That's what I deleted. And that's who I banned. And I also banned Azens for also posting it, because he also said something that was kind of rude, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh, well. I think I took a screenshot of it somewhere and gave it to Bono, who said, yeah, okay. The other person that thinks they were banned without a reason is Daniel, who demanded respect from the GM team. This is... Firstly, respect is earned, not given. And secondly, that was after he had insisted that I think it was that I he had insisted that I had paid the GM team to move the time for Siege on Helion so that I could win it. Oh my god. Firstly, the reason I signed up for Siege was so that I could test that you could actually sign up for Siege. I never had any intention of going to Siege. So thanks for getting your knickers in a twist over that. Secondly, I didn't change the time. And when asked, I think if I can find it in my discussion with Bono, because we discussed it and I told him how Siege works. I even have a file about it in my drive. We discussed Siege and what time would be a good time for it to be on, and I said probably about 11 PM PDT. No, what am I saying? 11 PM CEST, which is European time, on a Saturday night. That's the time I said Saturday night. They made it Monday morning. Not my fault. I didn't say it. Right? Whoever they asked is the other one they said it. I didn't do it, okay? I might have even said maybe 1, 2 a.m. that time. However, I said Saturday night so that everyone could go, nobody had to be at work, and, you know, it would be convenient for a lot of people. The irony of you saying that I made it more convenient for myself is hilarious, because the time that they have said it to is 10 a.m. Monday morning for me. Okay? That's not convenient to me. It's not remotely convenient. The old time is way more convenient. 8 p.m. Sunday evening, my kid's in bed, I've had dinner, I'm just chilling out in the evening. Perfect. Perfect time for me. Why would I want it to be on a Monday morning, you moron? Anyway, so he came along saying that, and actually I believe it was the devs that set the time. So he's come along saying that. He's been given an answer, and then he's come back demanding respect because he was said that he got his knickers in a twist over fucking the time for fucking teach, which he did get his knickers in a twist. He had his fucking Jimmy's rustled by a time change. Like anybody had any control over a friggin' time change other than the devs, you know? So after he demanded some respect from the GMs, I think he was waved goodbye. And GM Bono also agreed that he was way out of line, which he was. So Fenrir complaining about him being banned. There has been an awful lot of Fenrir losing his fucking shit because of me. Like, I don't talk about him to anyone unless somebody asks. I don't go off looking for him unless somebody asks. I don't even think about it unless somebody says, hey, have you seen X? Like, that's when I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I didn't even know he changed his seg name. Incidentally, it's called LLLLLILLLLL. I think somebody's a bit nervous about being chased, aren't you? However, unprovoked in May, he dropped his basket a little bit and told Bono that, wait, let me bring it up because I can't remember the exact wording. Oh yes, according to Fenrir, I am corrupt and lying about my friend being first to level 200. Now, the story behind that was that when it became clear that Helion was going to be getting the level 200 emblem, I said, can we give one to Razor King, who got to level 200 first on our server, just because he got absolutely nothing for getting to level 200. Now, there's a well-documented video made by Moses, which I can link in the description box if you want, but I mean, it's Moses, you all know who Moses is. Firstly, there's some issues here. Secondly, what the fuck? Right, firstly, the issues are this. Yeah, there's a video documenting that Razor is the first person that got 200 on Trieste. Secondly, he's not my friend. I think I've spoken to Razor maybe 5 times. I think I can count on 2 hands how many times I've spoken to Razor. He's a very nice man. I've spoken to him 5 times. He's not my friend. Thirdly, why in the ever-loving fuck would I lie about that? Why? Doesn't make any sense. It's a fucking emblem. It's not even a good emblem. This is what I'm dealing with every fucking day. This bullshit. Okay? This is after, on Helion that weekend, Fenrir had told the people that were speaking Pinoy not to speak Pinoy because they need to speak English. Now, I don't know if you've noticed that Dekaron is a global channel. It has every race, it has every religion, it has every language on it, apart from the people that we're region block to, which is Southeast Asia. And with that comes every language. Not just English. I'm pretty sure everyone can speak their own language. Anyway, so he was going off the fucking deep end a little bit again. And so Bono told me about that and we just had a big laugh because it's funny. Oh, and then I sent him the link to the video of Razor King getting level 200 that Moses made. And he's like, you know, even if you didn't have the video, I'm pretty sure I would have believed you. Because Fenrir is a dickhead. Where are we? yeah, so there was an incident a little while back on Helion where all of a sudden somebody was banned. Now, I don't know whether I should name who was banned. He just made a +10, and Fenrir got upset and banned him. Now, let's just talk about the fact that he could ban people, because he shouldn't have been able to. There was another issue with said account. However, he had no reason or MO to ban that person, and he shouldn't have been using the ban command that he used anyway. It wasn't a proper ban command, it was an IP ban command that he'd figured out. Why he's not now fired because he did that without asking Waldo or Bono or anyone else, and I quote, this is what he said to Bono: "I did it because I felt like it." With no other rhyme, reason or anything else other than he felt like it. Seriously, going off deep end, dropping basket. You know, I spoke to Waldo about it, and he said no, that should not have happened. He's had that right taken away from him. He'd figured out how to use a IP ban command that he shouldn't have had, blah blah blah, taken away. Why this person is still employed, I have no idea, but anyway, he is. It is what it is, and we're going to eat our shit sandwich, and we're going to like it, okay everybody? I don't know what to talk about next. Oh yeah, let's just do the last Fenrir having a little meltdown epi. He said less than 2 weeks ago, this one is, that no real PvP talks on our real Discord because of the current GM moderation team being a weird sociopath that deletes anything she disagrees with. Now, as I've just showed you or read out to you, I'm not going to show you. The last time I deleted a message, somebody's selling an account. There you go. Somebody was selling their account. That's the last time I deleted a message. It was months ago. We've had several bans go through over the last few weeks because actually we've been told that you guys shouldn't be talking about Asia on our Discord. We were letting it slide because oh, by the way, I'm legally not GM housekeeping according to my paperwork, so just because you think I am doesn't mean I necessarily am, but I'm not gonna say that I'm not, because I'm not a liar. And because it's pretty much common knowledge now. So, like, doesn't matter what I do, I always screenshot it and I always give it to GM Bono to have the last word. He can reverse it if he wants. If he disagrees with me, he can say, no, you know what, they can come back. Like when Valar got banned. But actually, he was reversing his own decision on that. I didn't have anything to do with it. Lawrence kept saying something about Asia. ACS, or ACIs, I don't know what the fuck, what his name is. Now what did he do? He called somebody the R word, which I won't say, and Bono has been very specific about not using that word. He does not like it. He does not like anybody using it. And I asked him not to use that word, and he said to remind him when he should give a fuck about not using it. And then I can't remember what happened after that. He continued to be a little fuckwad probably. And so I reminded him when he should give a fuck by banning him. Because he was just being so toxic. I'm sorry. There's a line. And also, I think Hamilton was banned for basically... He called the GM team... Let me see if I can find it. Like I said, I screenshot everything because you guys have to make me have insurance on everything. Oh yeah, he called Papaya a hoe, which fair enough, whatever, but this was like the 97th time we'd had this conversation and about the 105th time we've asked him to stop, because like we don't mind if you've got something constructive to say or something constructive to complain about. But just saying, haha, you could have had this $10, but you're a hoe, is just the end of my tether. Sorry, it just is. I had almost let Bono do it the week before, when he said, can I kick him? For being a gigantic emo arsehole. His words, not mine. And when he was kicked from Discord... Oh, okay. He said the other thing he said was a strike that I'd been like, oh my god. And then he said something about grace for 12 hours because somebody was paying for, I don't know, they were joking. And he said, so that's like $2. I'm still better than what papaya staff get being paid. GM team, you hoes, got options here. Only issue is you gotta fucking play the game. Well, guess what? We do play the game, bitch. So, you know, after 6 weeks of this bullshit, sorry, there's a limit, and we reached the limit. It wasn't just me, it wasn't an executive decision. The limit was reached some time ago, but I'd taken Bono over the limit, and then I'd finally reached my limit. So just chill. Do you know what I mean? Just chill. Like it's a game. Like it's not life and death. It's just fucking chill out, man. And then going over to a different Discord and saying I was on my period. And also that I was a menopause hoe. And that I shouldn't work in customer support. It's probably a bad idea if you want to get unbanned. Just for next time. And also a bad idea if you want me to help you when you whisper me after the fact when your stupid AK doesn't have whatever it was. I didn't even read the whisper. I just asked why the fuck is he whispering me, because you're not getting any help from me, sorry. Also, I just want to say on that, menopause equals you can't get your period anymore, just for a little bit of educational purposes for those of you that don't know. Pick one of the insults and stick with it, because it doesn't make any sense when you mix them like that. Okay, let's go on to my bestest friend, Saki, who... Okay, he's changed his name to Yuri Boyka, which... yeah, I knew it was you calling me fat on my last video. I'm not an idiot. Thanks, Saki. Because you're so great. Let's read some of the bullshit that you've got to say. Now, I said earlier he acts like a mafia leader. Boy, does he. He was annoyed about how Vamp got his AK back, which is fair enough, because I was also annoyed about how he got his AK back. So it turns out the last, I don't know, 15 minutes or so of the video I filmed earlier was cut off because my hard drive was full. Yay! So, I'm not 100% sure where we got to, but I think it was probably this screenshot of Saki saying how he ruled the game, blah 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 blah, delusions of grandeur, blah 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 blah. And also, more interestingly, while I was filming this, I got this charming message from ACS about how I'm a pig. Yay! That's mature and also grown up of you. Well done. Don't give a shit what you think. Sorry. Also, by the way, every time you interact with one of my videos, it improves my analytics. So even if you dislike something, even if you comment something mean or what you think is mean, which is really just completely childish, it helps me. So keep doing what you're doing, guys. I don't care. Yeah, so we got to Saki and his delusions of grandeur. That was pretty much it. The only next part I wanted to talk about was the Dekaron Asia bullshit. I got told that it was... What a coincidence that I was there to video Shiro using his duped coins to... I'm going to put this down because I keep stabbing myself in the head. To level up at the thing. But it wasn't a coincidence. Here's somebody telling me that he was doing it on Discord, and I just happened to log in right on top of him doing it. It wasn't that I was sitting there for 16 hours waiting for him to log in and like recording it desperately. It just happened that I logged in on top of him and he was doing it. And then I was amused, basically, because I found that hilarious, by the way. Also, where's that screen? I'll also show you the screenshot of him saying, well, I sent a ticket and I was just telling them, and I was, hold up there. Let me find it, I'll read it to you. Yeah, so he says that I'm desperate to force my opinion of him across. I'm really not, he just does it on his own. And that he sent a ticket to their support on the 23rd of July, and I caught him 6 days later, I'm too late, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, 3 days late, sorry. Right, fine, you reported it. However, that doesn't absolve you from using it. You can't just absolve yourself of using the dupe method and leveling yourself up to 130, which was the max on that server at the time, just because you reported it. So it doesn't work like, it just doesn't work like that. And if you think it does, you're an idiot. But yep, I'll put that up here somewhere, you can have a look at that. There's also, what else have we got here? Oh, Chrissy calling me a Karen. Should we talk about Chrissy for a second? Hi, Chrissy. Yeah. We kicked you out of Storm because you're a beggar and annoying. It's all about Chrissy, and Chrissy just wants to talk about Chrissy all the time. To the point where 3 different people, not me, I'm okay with people talking about themselves because I like to do it about myself a lot. As you can see from this video and probably my other one. I like talking about myself. It's fun. To the point where 3 different people refused to be in a Discord voice chat with her because she would just talk over you all the time. So not only would she beg for items from everyone in the guild, she would also make everything about her. Let's talk about me, let's talk about Chrissy all the time. And I hear that Coven had the same issue with her, and I think Saki had the same issue with her, and now she's landed on Divine because there's nobody else left, I guess. So yep, I'm a Karen, whatever. And and then after she called me Karen, Shiro called me a two-faced bitch. I'm not a two-faced bitch. I'll say what I want to say to your face, but you will never come near me, not ever. He has not come near me in months. He has not come near me. So I'm not two-faced, I've just never had an opportunity to tell your face. I've also got a screenshot of his, he showed off a load of duped items that he had on Asia before it got banned, on his character. It had 4 bill in dill on it, and this was what, like 3rd week this server had been open. Oh, and also talking about how, imagine the publishers in Thai have no Dekaron experience, so they don't know any methods of exploits or hacks, and was quite excited about that. So that's fun. And when I bought all this stuff up with Waldo. I told him that, you know, he seemed to be under the impression I wanted him banned from our channel. I don't really care if he's banned on our channel or not. But what I said was, it's really not a good look for somebody like this to be a GM for Papaya, because people think that you sent him over there to do this shit, which he didn't. He's an adult. He's going through the proper channels of trying to get them region locked, because he's a normal person and not a psycho. But the fact is that he agreed with me. He said somebody like that shouldn't be a GM, and well, I haven't seen him in ever. I haven't seen him in game, but then again, it's not like I go looking for him, so I mean, he might be there, I don't know. Okay, the last thing I wanted to do was show you my items, but I've already closed my Sega account and I can't bother to open it back up again. Look, there's nothing on it. I'll make myself smaller. Haha, yes, I am fat. Whatever. Really don't care. Really do not care that you think I'm fat. I really do not give a shit. Honestly, people are so stupid in this world. Right, this is my hunter. I made it 2 weeks ago. This is its expo. This is its thing. This is its time deering. That's how young this hunter is. It's still got one of these. It's still got the NPC stuff. It's still got this, which is I bought from the NPC from the agency. It's shite. I don't care. The only good, vaguely good thing it has are the things I borrowed from my seg, which is this, and this. Oh, and by the way, Hamilton. This went to Devilhorn, no fail. What else have we got? Okay, and her bow is okay. It's pretty good. If I can get her to just stop attacking for just like 2 seconds. Hi, can we? Thank you. Bow's pretty nice, and if anybody's got a dex gem or 3 dex gems, can you just mail them to me? Thanks. Malal made it +10 because it just was not bouncing and behaving for me. And here's my Alakon with the dream team sitting down, and her holy water's run out, so I'm not showing you her stash because it's just a mess anyway. It's just full of shite. Spear, crapper than that bow I just showed you. Guard arm. This Indranil gave me because I didn't give away all his stuff when he was drunk and gave it to me to sell. When he sobered up and realised that he'd done that, he wanted it back, which I still had, so I gave it back. This is my spear. I made it. This I traded for. 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 In my guild, I did not trade with random stranger. Because that gives me cancer. This is Malal's. I think I made that, or Malal made that, one of us made it. And I made that. And I made this. So, you know, there's nothing special here. It's all just normal crap. All of it is normal. The only abnormal thing is I have 900 Argates, but you know what? I AFK farm a lot with treasure runes, so just bite me. And that's it. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. If you have any questions about anything I've covered in this epic fucking thing, I'm gonna put chapters in because this is just ridiculous about how long it is. Yeah, just say it in the comments. And like I said, you can have some high-res pictures of me. I don't care, right? Here's my before and after pictures of where I've lost weight, even though apparently I'm still a pig. So there we go. Have that. Yeah, so tomorrow normal service will be resumed and we won't be talking about Dekaron anymore because I'm sick of talking about it. Okay? If you've lasted this long, very good. If not, oh well, I'm talking to myself. Thank you very much for watching. If you wanted to talk about any of the crap in this video, let me know. I'm absolutely exhausted from talking about it for an hour and a half. This is the most I've ever talked about anything ever, I think. I've probably overshared in a couple of places. I don't know whether Bono will be that happy with me for oversharing with you guys, but I'd rather you know everything than know nothing. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Bye.